All I'm saying.
Hey guys, welcome to Obsessed Reviews. I'm Kelton and this is a channel where I give my thoughts and opinions on vehicles. Welcome back if you're a subscriber, since we have a few little subscribers here, I guess. And today we're going to be talking about the new Kia EV9, which was revealed a little bit ago, but currently is now up for sale for real, and they have the configurator available on their website. So we're just going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about what we think Kia's direction is with all of their new electric vehicles. So, Kia is beginning to be more serious about their electric game. They've come out with the EV6 and the Niro EV, and now this EV9, so that they have a SUV to compete with. And Kia, I think they're doing a lot of good things when it comes to electric vehicles. They actually take the time and the money to put all the details and all of the engineering into these vehicles, rather than just making them gas cars that have, that are just happen to be electric, which there's nothing wrong with that, but that can lead to a lot of things not being as set up well within the vehicle when it wasn't originally supposed to be an electric vehicle. So I'm glad that Kia is taking the time to actually make electric vehicles that are supposed to be electric and are meant to be electric. So the EV9, this is supposed to be Kia's vehicle that is going to compete with vehicles like the Tesla Model X, even though they're not near the same price point. They're also competing with any other like electric SUVs. And another thing that they've been boasting about with this vehicle a lot is how premium and how luxury it is. And I'm not going to argue with that either, because this is a very luxurious vehicle, especially for a company like Kia. So let's get into it. Before we get started, I'm sorry for the dark lighting. It's nighttime. I don't have a ring light. Okay guys, so starting with the exterior, I think this is such a beautiful but aggressive design. And that is, of course, expected from Kia. They have never disappointed, at least to me. Well, I wouldn't say never, but they usually do not disappoint when it comes to designs and just their vehicles looking good. The EV9 has a very squared off and boxy design, and something I want to point out about this design is that it was a concept vehicle that was revealed a few years ago, and they kept the design very similar to the concept, which is something that I noticed is a pattern with Kia. They constantly make these concepts and they keep the production vehicle as close to the concept as possible, and I think that's a really good quality of that. Starting with the front end, specifically, the headlights. I really love the headlights, except for one thing, because they go into the A-pillar, they come straight down with a slight curve, and then they go towards the lower bumper. What I don't like is that they have this really cool element that goes into a panel of where the grille would be, and you actually do have to pay extra for that, or you have to be subscribed to Kia Connect, which I think is really stupid. I'm finna go on a rant. I think that a lot of these brands now think it's okay to charge extra for things that should already come with the vehicle, or for design features or for heated seats, BMW, and this is not okay. People are already paying $60, $70, $80,000 for these vehicles. They shouldn't have to get the Kia Connect app or pay extra money just to get something as simple as this. They're not gonna pay it, and y'all aren't gonna get any extra money, so stop doing it. It's that simple. Either include it with the vehicle or don't include it at all. It's just dumb. But other than that, the headlights look really cool to me, and the lower bumper looks very aggressive, just like the design. Alright, so looking towards the side of the vehicle now, you'll notice that they have a lot of gloss black elements. I'm a fan of gloss black elements on vehicles. I think it looks really clean and flush, and I'm pretty sure most people do. But I am curious to see how that's going to hold up when it comes to the off-roading that they're advertising. Not that they're advertising off-roading that much, but you know, this is a vehicle that they've advertised can do a little bit of off-roading, can go in the water and all types of stuff like that. So I'm curious on that and how that's going to hold up over time. Also, they're offering, you know, matte paints. The only matte paint I can remember when I was looking at the configurator is the blue that you're seeing everywhere, I'm sure. And I don't know if there's any other matte paints, but I'm curious to the paint quality. But I know Kia, I think they've been pretty good with the paint quality, so that would be good. Then looking at the rims, well, wheels, whatever it is, who cares? Looking at the rims, they look really cool to me. At first I thought these were actual, you know, wheels, but turns out they're just covers. And I'm seeing this more and more on electric vehicles specifically. Instead of putting real wheels on there, they put covers on there just to look cool and to, you know, improve aerodynamics. And honestly, I'm a fan of this because the designs never disappoint when it comes to wheel covers, at least to me. Even like the Tesla Model 3 wheel covers, I think those look very cool and they look better than some 18-inch wheels would. So something like this, I'm a big fan of when it comes to design. And lastly, moving to the rear of the vehicle, you'll notice that there are not a lot of badging or buttons, visible buttons, and things that are going to throw off the cleanliness of the design. And man, this car looks really cool from the rear end. Also, the taillights, they look very, you know, Volvo-esque. And I think that also the clear design of them makes the vehicle look 10 times better. Overall, in terms of design, I think Kia did an amazing job. I think this is a vehicle that in terms of looks can definitely compete with the likes of Range Rover and Audi, Mercedes even, BMW. And especially like Mercedes, if we're talking like, I think it's EQB electric, the electric version of the EQB, then I think that it definitely can compete because that was a vehicle that was disappointing to me. So this is something that is overstepping in terms of expectations, especially for a brand like Kia, who has been mocked over and over and over, and is continuing to prove that they can do better than people's expectations. Okay, now moving on to the interior of the EV9. I think this is also a space that looks very well thought out, especially for like a family vehicle. So you're gonna be having two 12-inch screens plus a 5-inch screen in between those screens for the driver. And I think that is a really cool design, which shows even with all of the tech that Kia already includes in the vehicles, they can continue to step even further in advancing their technology. So that's really cool. The interior is also going to include a lot of ambient lighting, which is cool. But I think that this interior has a little too much black for me. You can get it, if you're like me, you can get it in different color options. There is a white which goes on the dash, which I think makes it look a lot more luxurious. But it looks luxurious, but maybe not $70,000 luxurious, which is what you can get this vehicle up to. But at the same time, if you take a closer look at the design, you can definitely see where the thought was put into it, because it looks very close to the concept, like I said. And you know, it has touch haptic buttons on touch sensitive buttons on trim. And I think that looks really cool and is just paying homage to Kia's knowledge of design and of incorporating function into their design. The interior is also going to include a lot of luxurious leathers. Actually, no real leather for this vehicle because we're trying to save the planet. So mostly synthex leathers and fake leathers, which is really good. And then you're also going to have a lot of pass-throughs and extra storage in the vehicle, as well as foot stands and all types of luxury amenities in the rear seating of the EV9. So I think this is an interior that Kia has put a lot of time and thought into making for families and making high-end and luxurious. And another thing I want to point out about these interiors is I've noticed Kia is becoming more and more a brand of actual quality. And let me explain what I mean. I think back in like 2021, 2020, when they were still trying to improve their brand image, we were seeing a lot of gimmicks and we were seeing a lot of foolishness. But now Kia has improved so much on their brand and on their image that there's not much to criticize them about. And they just continue to put more and more thought and time and real thought into their vehicles, and it shows. So that's really good for them. Now, moving on to performance, EV9 offers, I think it comes standard with one motor, but it offers a dual motor system that can be rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, and it has 370 horsepower and 517 pound-feet of torque, if I'm correct. And it can do 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds, which is a little bit slower than I would have thought, but at the same time, we have to keep in mind this is an electric vehicle with batteries on the bottom that weighs a lot of pounds. So Kia has to take all that weight to 60. But this is really good performance, especially for a huge family SUV. So moving on to the summary, I think this is a vehicle that is going to do very well for Kia, and I think this is going to benefit them because they are obviously taking the electric game a lot more serious than some of the other mainstream brands like Honda and Toyota, who are just now getting to begin their journey with it. So this is new for pretty much everybody in the car world, and Kia is once again staying ahead of the game with it like they always do, and that's going to make them stand out, and that's going to give them the sales. So this is a really good car for Kia, especially because that is their main demographic, family SUVs. And this is going to remind a lot of people of the Telluride, which is a huge vehicle for Kia. So I think it's going to definitely sell very well for Kia, but I also am curious to see how many people are going to divert from getting the EV9 because of things like charging, because I know that's a very big thing with electric vehicles, especially vehicles that aren't Teslas, because of the charging network that is basically non-existent in some places, and where it is existent doesn't always work. So that's going to be interesting to see, but I think this is a very cool car. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe. Have a good day.
about the moments we spent. I just want you